Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Hey, welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. Time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Hey, morning, Moore County. Great day. Nice and warm, nice and wet. Get out there, roll around on the ground, get some sand fleas and no seams to bite you. Do some exercises, do some sit-ups, do some push-ups. Get at it.
You're going to love it on a good muggy morning like this morning. Golly, is it muggy. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. If you're on a mobile device, your YouTube app will do the work. Put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. If you're on your mobile device just needing our audio stream, that's available with most any streaming application, such as TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer. Put WEEB into the search, and if you're on a website, it's available in the upper right-hand corner of every page at talk973.com, where it says, on the air, listen live. Tap it once with your cursor, and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area, it is definitely going to be your kind of weather if you like hot, sticky, and muggy, because we got a full boat of it for you today. It's going to be mostly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms. High of 88 tonight. Dew point's about 72.3 this afternoon. Right now it's 75. Tonight, more of the same with the thunderstorms, low of 73. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, thunderstorms likely, high of 92, heat index 97. But never fear, relief comes this weekend. Friday, Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy. High is still going to be warm with highs around 90, 91. But the dew points will be down in the mid-60s. So it will, although that isn't terrific, it's a whole lot better than what we're having right now. You'll feel a definite difference. Monday, we get a little more muggy, not much, but the thunderstorms chances return slightly. Look for high at 94 on Monday, 91 on Tuesday. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are southwest of 6, visibility 10 statute miles, pressure is 2988. Dew point 75, humidity 96%. It's cloudy, 75 degrees. Currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. So much experience to be had here. It takes 3 frequencies to get it all out there.
Yes, it does, in all 3 directions.
Yeah. All right, well, last night the Board of Commissioners held their meeting about the budget. If you recall, the budget, we only found out about it, got to see it last week. And this quick boom, they have a meeting on it Monday. Last night is required by law. Jeff went to the meeting. What did you experience there?
Oh, well, I guess you can watch this or go see it.
You can watch a video of it. Basically, it's a soundtrack because all you see are 5 commissioners sitting there.
Yeah, but basically, if you skip to the end, that's where the important thing is. That's where Commissioner Quist makes the comment that, hey, required by law, we have to have a budget by the end of June. This is the end of June. So there it is. I mean, there wasn't any question. There wasn't anything to be discussed or contemplated last night.
But they
were going to vote for it, and that was it.
But citizens came to speak with ideas.
Yes.
For 2 hours, they filled the commissioners' ears with ideas.
And we can get to that.
Yeah.
But the important piece is at the end. It was already going to be voted on.
Yep.
It was already going to be approved.
Yep.
And,
it was a waste of time for everybody to be there.
Well, Quist needs to work on his chuckle because as he was making his parting comments there, we didn't think anybody cared. His comment was that for years or the last several years, we've had these budget meetings. Oh, nobody's ever showed up. I was surprised that people actually showed up tonight. Well, that's because in years past, nobody was talking about a 14% increase in the budget. So, yeah, why is he surprised that anybody would show up at the end or show up here last night to want to know what's going on? And there were two ladies last night. There's a memo there that hopefully you can put on your website and link to by Cleta Mitchell. Is that her name?
Yep.
Yeah, she has like a 3 or 4 page document there. She went through it and pointed out quite a few things that just really kind of make your head spin.
Well, one of it was the percentages of increases, like environmental 21%,
right?
11% for emergency and public safety, and it just these are huge increases.
Yes, and well, the point she was making though is that after listening to the presentation by Manager Vest, that, hey, we've been working on this budget for the last 6 years. We knew it was coming, blah, blah, and everybody knew it was coming. But for this process over the last number of years, whether it was 6 years or not, I don't know, there haven't been any open public hearings on it, which was Cleta Mitchell's comment, that, hey, why is this being let loose here in the last couple of weeks? And through the whole process over these last years that you've been doing this, nobody's been able to go in there, download anything, look at what you're trying to do and where these increases
to justify a 21% increase.
And ask questions about it. It's not a transparent process, and that was her point, one of her many points. And I think
it was all closed door. It was all closed door until the last week when you get a bare glimpse to really start digesting it.
Yeah.
And the vote was already a done deal. It was a waste of time to even go to that meeting last night.
She produced a 4 or 5 page document here, 4.5 page document with a number of things that she gleaned just from the week or so that she had to look at the budget. And again, if they've had working groups and hearings, etc., from the various departments in our county government here, whether it's health and safety, human resources, the sheriff's department, et cetera, where they've discussed what they need and what they want for this budget, but there's no open public hearing on any of that. And why not? And number one, and number two, my comment would be, or my thought is, gee, just like the school board, I wonder if you FOIA'd that. Did anybody take any notes or any minutes at any of those meetings so you could really get into what the details were on what was going on in any of those meetings? And my guess would be no. So, I just, it's kind of a sad process when the final word from Commissioner Quist is, well, we didn't think you cared. And 14%, millions of dollars increase. Don't worry about it.
And it's going to make hundreds of dollars of difference in your property tax bill this year.
Yeah, there were several comments there. Now we can get back to the comments from some of the people. That there was one lady there made a very impressive comment. She just recently moved down here from Connecticut, and her comment, about the schools up there and the processes and closed door and no transparency. And she gets down here and lo and behold, it's the same thing. Yeah. And if you know anything about Connecticut, my brother lives up there. I think she said she was from Stamford. My brother lives up in Trumbull. If you know anything about there, that's the criminal elite in Connecticut. So, anybody who comes down here from Connecticut and can make a parallel comparison.
It's not a compliment.
It's not good. It is really not complimentary to you there, commissioners. Not at all. So, they've got a lock on it, and I almost slid out of the chair. We didn't think you cared.
Yeah. Well, you had some other comments that the commissioner said.
Oh, well, it was scripted. At the end, after everybody made their public comments, they go around and, Commissioner, is it Dake or Dakey?
Dakey.
Dakey. Hey, everybody was well informed. It's been out there. We knew this was coming, et cetera, et cetera. And he puts his bona fides out. I'm a conservative, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, well, he's voting for it.
I thought Dakey was a Democrat.
I don't know. He didn't. He just said he was conservative or something. Commissioner Ritter gets out. He's pounded the public safety and EMS, and, we need these things. So, okay, so he's voting for it. And Commissioner Graham, she commented on, disparities between the North and South End, or North Moore, South Moore, Upper Moore, whichever way you want to describe it. I'm not sure if there's a slight in there if I say North End or East End or something. And she had the strangest comment of the night. I don't know, it just kind of made me wonder, thank God we live in a country where you can, have your comments and disagree, et cetera, and not worry about repercussions from, the law enforcement. So I'm like, why are we saying that?
You mean the thought police?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about. And then, Gregory, said something about we've kicked the can down the road for 10 years. Yeah, that's probably true. That's absolutely true. But, the point is they kicked the can down the road past anybody paying any attention to it and allowing any public access to the process. That's what's wrong. It didn't matter what any of these people said, any of the commissioners said. What they're missing the point on is that they have no transparency. They sat there and did this thing, and didn't have any input or any.
Here's
any
a quick
view,
look at it. Then we're going to vote for it.
Yeah, any view from the public while it was going on, and that was that point from the lady up there in Connecticut. They finally got rid of the people up there that were doing that, and had it open and process. And certainly you raise a budget, but when it was all said and done, and you had public hearings, etc., all along the way, and public access, there it is. And of course, you still had people disagreed with it, but you, by and large, understood what was going on. And then her comment, she comes down here and, boom, it's a last minute, hey, here's this big old thick budget here, and we're voting on it, and boom, it's done. Yeah. So, there was
not a single challenge to a single line of the budget. Not one.
No, there was none of that. There was one lady, I'm not sure where she was from, but,
I'm talking about from the commissioners.
Well, no.
Surely they can't be happy with every line of that budget.
No, when it was, there was no, they were just sitting there because, like I said, they had their closed session. I don't know how detailed a script they developed for it, but, like I said, at the end, they each took their couple of minutes to make their comments. They didn't overlap each other. They didn't repeat each other. They each had their little specific focus group or focus area. And, this is why we need the budget. EMS.
Well, one thing they asked.
This is why we need the budget.
One thing they asked at the end of the meeting, Jeff, if I heard it right, was Quist asked if anybody wanted to delay the vote.
Yeah.
In order to digest what all the citizens had said that night.
No, they didn't.
And not a soul piped up. They want to get this behind them. And you can't invite your public to come in and make public comments and to just push them aside and with your pre-done vote.
But, Steve, that's the point. As Quist said right there at the very end, we are required to approve a budget by the end of June. You're also required to have a public hearing. So here's your public hearing. You had your chance, and, hey, all in favor, boom, done. Yeah. And that was it. So they just ticked off all the boxes, but it was very poorly done.
In other words, the budget rammed down your throat, done by bureaucrats who don't feel the pain.
Oh, no. They also, hey,
not
every
the commissioners.
One of them,
I'm talking about staff.
Every one of them said, well, I pay taxes too. Every one of them. They're putting their stake in the ground. They pay taxes too.
Well, yeah. They also take money from me.
Well,
and spend it the way they think they.
I'm not going to get into.
And that's what I mean. I'm not talking about the commissioners. I'm talking about the staff. It's like.
Well, then you don't want.
Oh boy, let me ask for my wish list here, and I know. I know that I'm going to pick on the sheriff's department as an example because I keep up with it. But a 14% increase and 13 new personnel. When you look down the past history of it, they've gotten
1, 2, 3 new deputies per year, but 13 in 1 year? That's ridiculous.
Well,
That's like, let me pass out the titles here, and since these guys can't be deputies anymore, I got to replace them.
Let me say this. Sheriff Fields did get up there, and he was the only one out of all of these various departments. He was the only one that got up there and at least had a piece of paper in front of him and said, hey, I need, I asked for, I don't have them all off the top of my head, but he needed somebody else in dispatch, and he needed somebody else in another particular department. He needed, the
13.
extra. I'm not going to get into that. All I'm saying is
$2 million.
He was the only one that outlined bit by bit, line by line, what he needed and why he was asking for it. He was the only one that did that. So I give him credit for that.
I'll give him credit for that.
He's the least of the problem, because all these other things in here, there are one bit of explanation at all, no bit of detail at all about what they were asking for or why they put it in there.
I would agree he probably needed some personnel, but not 14%.
Again, without having his piece of paper in front of me to explain, because he did get into the jail.
They want 8 new ones there,
and he had 5
new deputies.
Five deputies, a dispatcher. There was something else he had there. But, all that aside, he at least laid it out logically and said, this is why we need him, and spent a few minutes at least.
You got to remember, when you get a new deputy, it comes with a car, equipment. The payroll is the cheap part of it. They cost you about $150,000.
Well, we didn't get down to that level of detail, but like I said, he's the only one that got up there and actually laid it out for anybody that was listening. Here's some of the things. This is from this paper from Cleta Mitchell. Budget increases for the following employee wages and benefits. There's like eight things here. Fully funding county employee retirement contributions. 401k contributions paid for the county by employees, life insurance at 2 times the employee's annual salary, $500 per employee for enrolling in a Wellness Works program, and a detailed explanation on what the problem with that is. So, she went through this thing in the last week or so.
That's the thing about employees with county governments and city governments.
Yeah.
The salary is one thing, but the benefit package that goes with it's like $150,000 more on top of the salary.
So, and she lists a line of questions here and some other discussion. So, hopefully Dorothy can scan this and make a link to it and put it on the website.
We'll put it on the Zoom alt page.
Maybe actually I should probably email her and ask her if I can do that. But she lives in Pinehurst, so that's her focus. The other lady that came down from Connecticut, I almost laughed when she made that comparison to Connecticut, because that is really, really bad. If somebody's comparing your process to things in Connecticut, that's where just this last election cycle in Bridgeport, Connecticut, one of the larger cities up there, they just reelected
I think the whole point is
a convicted felon as the mayor in Bridgeport, and other bad things are going on up there. It's just really bad.
I think the frustrating part is that, the budget's published. You can go online and see it, but you got no say in it. You didn't have any say in it whatsoever. It was just done. Ram down your throat. We're finished.
Yes, and Commissioner Quist said, he'll take that under advisement, and I would recommend that he do, because if you're going to sit here and start having, you should be starting to work on your next budget already. Yeah. So if they're going to have a working group, then they need to start making these things public so people can go in there and listen to what the hell is actually going on.
But you also got to know that a lot of people will lose their homes and property because they can't afford this.
And yes, that's the other lady that I was getting
real
to.
People.
She was very concerned, because her
I mean, the sole income's Social Security. They can barely make ends meet. And this gets dumped on them and just can't afford it.
Yeah, that was her point, that $300-400 on some of these properties.
So government will come by at the point of a gun and take her property away.
They're going to put them out. So that would be something to keep an eye on, is how many foreclosures did we have this year, and then start keeping an eye on it and how much they increase over here in the next few years. Because of this, because it is, and that's, this is your long-term residents here. These aren't these aren't your wine and cheese set down here in Pinehurst, and the military guys, etc. They're not that concerned about it.
I got one more thing I want to slip in here for top of the hour, and that is, this is a different subject. Yesterday, I reported that 5,300 gallons. The town released a news release about 5,300 gallons of sewage getting dumped. Accidentally, and said it was off of Commerce Avenue on a dirt road. Well, that was all a lie. The dump happened in the middle of the dog park.
Oh, no.
Yes, and it spilled into the one clean creek there. Oh. And now all that flows over into CCNC. So the CCNC lake's now contaminated with all that sewage.
Oh, they're going to be happy with
and
that.
They're over there at the dog park throwing out lime and throwing it on the manhole and on the ground and stuff like that, and calling that sanitizing the place. So people are walking through this. Dogs are walking through this. Dogs are drinking this. And no telling how many sick dogs or dead dogs we're going to have because of the mismanagement of Reagan Parsons and his staff over at the town of Southern Pines. Just saying, we don't give a damn about your dog. We're going to spread a little lime, and that's all we're doing. They should have been out there with dozers and cleaning up that dirt, because people are walking there, dogs are walking there, and these dogs mean something to people. And to sit there and disguise it and then tell a soul about, we're putting this lime out because there's raw sewage on the ground that spilled in here. And I bet you haven't told CCNC your lake's now full of 5,300 gallons of raw sewage.
They'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, when the fish start floating to the top.
Another hot day.
This is just total gross mismanagement and just a blatant lie in that press release that they put out. They said it was off of Commerce Avenue. It fed into an Aberdeen creek tributary.
Well, how did it happen?
Why didn't you say it was at the dog park? Why don't you warn people that it's crap's out there on the ground, that people's sewage is out there to walk through and dogs to drink? Why don't you, Reagan Parsons, do that? But you didn't. You hid it. Because that shows the style of management you have.
Yeah, they could have easily just put up a sign there and said closed for the day.
Well, yeah, or at least warning. There was a sewage spill here. Void this area of the dog park. But no, they didn't do that. They just let people walk through it.
Have they figured out what caused it? Broken valve,
I don't know.
Backflow, maybe their backflow valve didn't work.
The pipe clogs, and it's going to back up and come out at the lowest point.
I'm just curious what exactly happened. Just
because I wonder why that manhole, it sticks out of the ground about 5 feet, and they covered it all with lime, and they put lime on the ground. I saw dogs walking around with cakes of lime on their feet.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and this is, no warning whatsoever. They got a bulletin board out there. They could have put a notice on, but they didn't because they're trying to hide it. They don't care if your dog drinks it and dies from it or gets sick from it, and you get the vet bill because Reagan Parsons won't tell you about it. We'll be back after the news.
Keep the umbrellas handy. We have rain in the forecast through Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies today, and that will help to keep temperatures down a little bit. We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. Highs will climb into the mid to upper 80s. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, temperatures in the low 70s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms possible Thursday, and some of those could be severe with some strong damaging winds. Highs will climb into the upper 80s to low 90s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He's off and running. President Trump launching his re-election campaign with a huge rally in Florida. White House correspondent Greg Clugston was there.
Addressing 20,000 supporters here in downtown Orlando, the president said he has delivered on the economy and a host of issues, including immigration and pro-life policies.
Nobody's done what we have done in 2.5 years.
The president portrayed Democrats as radical, warning what America would look like if they win in 2020.
They want to destroy you, and they want to destroy our country as we know it.
He also took familiar shots at the news media and 2016 rival Hillary Clinton.
And the president's supporters, they're pumped up.
Fantastic. Great crowd, great speech, great energy, great message, super patriotic.
He has more money than he knows what to do with. He doesn't need this job. He doesn't need the money. I think he's doing it for the right reasons to try and help the country.
Former Trump aide Hope Hicks about to become the first member of the White House Inner Circle to testify before a congressional panel looking into possible obstruction of justice.
Hicks, who played a key role in the 2016 Trump campaign as well as the first 14 months of his administration, has agreed to testify behind closed doors before the House Judiciary Committee. Hicks was mentioned more than 180 times in the Mueller report. Given her close working relationship with the president, Democrats are hopeful she can shed light on several key events.
Capitol Hill correspondent Molly Hines says Hicks will testify today. Citing personal family issues, Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan is resigning his post, and he's taking himself out of the running to fill the Pentagon's top job on a permanent basis. Dow futures up 9 points, NASDAQ futures 5 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Okay, first time we read this commercial, he got one, so I had to get one.
And we are both in love with this product.
The glass chair mat by Vitraza. They're unbelievable.
You know that junky plastic chair mat under your office chair or at home? Piece of garbage.
It's the ugliest thing in your office.
Vitraza glass chair mats are beautiful.
Durable.
Each one will support over 1,000 pounds, so it'll even hold me. They've got a lifetime warranty, and the way you feel rolling over smooth glass instead of cheap, crackly plastic, it's like working in $1 million office. And it's your office.
We got to mention this. Shipping is absolutely free.
Absolutely. Lifetime warranty, scratch-resistant, stylish Vitraza glass chair mats.
You can't get them at the office superstore. You got to order them direct at vitraza.com/life. That's V as in value, ITRAZZA, vitraza.com/life. You'll want to remember that website. There's a discount code waiting for you for 10% off, only at vitraza.com/life.
A Chinese worker has died in unrest at a Chinese-funded power plant in Bangladesh.
Police told the BBC that an argument erupted between local and Chinese workers at the power plant construction site after a Bangladeshi worker died as the result of a fall. Some reports suggest hundreds of workers took part in the clashes. 8 locals and 6 Chinese workers needed hospital treatment. Correspondents say the scale of the clashes and the fact a Chinese worker died are both unusual. 3 years ago, Chinese leaders signed off billions of dollars in loans and investments, funding major bridges and other infrastructure projects.
The BBC's Jill McGivering. Millions of people are turning to water tanker trucks in a southern Indian state as house and hotel taps run dry because of an acute water shortage caused by drying lakes and depleted supplies of groundwater. News and analysis at townhall.com. Capitol Hill lawmakers hold a hearing today on Boeing and its grounded 737 MAX jetliners.
Daniel Carey is the president of the pilots union at American Airlines. He says Boeing made mistakes in its design of the 737 MAX, and zeal to minimize pilot training costs for airlines that would buy the jet contributed to errors that led to a pair of deadly crashes and left what the pilot calls a crisis of trust around aviation safety. Carey will testify on the matter before a House panel today, along with Chelsea Sully Sullenberger, the celebrated captain who safely landed a disabled passenger jet on the Hudson River back in 2009. Matt Small, Washington.
The mother of one of the 298 victims of the downing of a Malaysia Airlines jetliner says at least 4 suspects will be tried for murder in a case that's set to start in March. The plane was blown out of the sky over eastern Ukraine almost 5 years ago. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Taz Auto Group in Sanford wants to change your mind about pre-owned cars. We've kept our prices as low as possible using fair market value and NADA guidelines. For our military customers, come in and we'll take $200 off your choice of over 250 cars in stock. All makes and models. Every single car comes with an automatic 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty. Right now, during the months of June, July, and August, if you purchase a vehicle from us, you'll automatically be placed in a drawing. Selected at the end of each month, the winner will be treated to a weekend cruise getaway from Charleston, South Carolina to the Bahamas. Good credit or bad credit, your approval is guaranteed. Can't get to us? Ask about our local pickup. We're open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and 12 to 5 on Sundays. So come in to 3590 Highway 87 in Sanford. Taz Auto Group. Nice cars, good price.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Pride Plumbing is proud to serve Moore County with superior workmanship and dependable plumbing service, including 24/7 emergency service. Like the name says, we take pride in our work and your safety. Our employees must pass background and drug tests and share Pride Plumbing's reputation for quality service. From simple leaky faucets to new water heaters and sewer lines, backflow testing and installation, drain cleaning, plumbing repairs, and, if necessary, replacement and remodeling. A family business with over 50 years of prideful service. Go online to callprideplumbing.com and check out our 5-star customer reviews. We offer a 10% discount to all veterans and active military. Call Pride Plumbing of Moore County at 910-295-0152. 910-295-0152. Serving with pride since 1965.
I think we can all agree, weekends are delicious. Well, your weekend just got more delicious. The Hickory Tavern is now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 2, with several entrees to choose from. Baked omelet filled with sauteed peppers and onions, tomato and goat cheese, and topped with bacon crumble and sour cream. The Tower of Power beefy blueberry pancakes. Avocado toast. Fresh sliced avocado and tomato salsa piled on sourdough toast and topped with balsamic reduction. Candied banana and walnut French toast, mini squares, and last but definitely not least, the Chicken Wafflewich, a Belgian waffle with hand-breaded chicken breast with maple sausage gravy. Each entree comes with a side of bacon. Wash it down with a shareable jumbo mimosa, carafe, or Bloody Mary. Get out of the box and into the Hickory Tavern for brunch, Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 2.
Opioid addiction is a crisis in Moore and surrounding counties, but there is a local doctor, Francis Corrigan of Solace Health, helping patients in recovery.
At Solace Health, we have had a great deal of success with opioid addiction treatment using medications such as Suboxone on an outpatient basis. Treatment is low cost as we accept all insurance, including North Carolina Medicaid. The treatment occurs in a very pleasant and private outpatient office setting where patients are treated with compassion and dignity. If you or your loved one needs help with opioid addiction or other drug or alcohol problems, please call us to speak to one of our nurses about our treatment program. We also have extensive experience in transitioning patients from methadone programs to Suboxone outpatient treatment.
Solace Health is located at 285 Olmsted Boulevard in Pinehurst. Call 910-295-7246. All calls are confidential. 910-295-7246. Or visit recovermore.com. MOORE.
At Sandhills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art Chief straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sandhills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sandhills Collision Center, because you deserve the best.
NCN News. Good morning. I'm Tony Brixby. President Trump officially kicking off his 2020 re-election campaign. He did it at a big rally last night in Orlando. CBS News correspondent Weijia Zhang on what the president had to say.
He had a lot to say. He billed this rally as historic and the hottest ticket ever, but it was actually just a collection of his greatest hits. He revisited old rivalries, aired familiar grievances, and renewed those long-standing promises he has made since his campaign in 2016, because in many ways, it never ended.
Autopsy results released now for the victims in the April shooting at UNC Charlotte. CBS News correspondent Jim Crisula has more.
Riley Howell suffered 8 fatal gunshot wounds. Police have said the 21-year-old saved lives by charging the gunman and tackling him to the ground. Another slain student, Ellis Reed Parlier, suffered 6 gunshot wounds. 4 other students were wounded. The shooting motive has not been released, but court documents indicate the alleged shooter, a former UNC Charlotte student, spent months planning the classroom attack. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Dr. Charles Vanderhorst's body was discovered yesterday along the Hudson River shoreline in New York City. He had been missing since last Friday. The 67-year-old UNC medical school physician was identified with a medical alert bracelet. Friends and family gathered at the Bethel Synagogue in Durham, where Rabbi Daniel Graber told CBS 17.
He impacted so many people and so many causes that his legacy will be profound and grand.
A UN investigation report just out says that Saudi Arabia should be held responsible for the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, and the implications go all the way to the top of the Saudi government. You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month or less. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway included at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/access now to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes taxes and fees. Includes 1 terabyte of data per month. Data overage charges apply. For details about data allowance, go to att.com/internet-usage. Geographic and service restrictions apply.
Still no reported cases of measles in North Carolina. That word yesterday after Durham got a clean bill of health for a possible case. Worldwide, there's a growing lack of trust in the effectiveness and safety of vaccines. Dr. Charlie Weller is the head of the vaccine program at Wellcome Trust and told the BBC that scientists may need to have their information come from other sources beside themselves.
What we know right now is that the messages that vaccines are safe and effective are getting to many people, but not everyone. So how do we get those messages to the right people? And I think it comes down to who people trust and who people go to advice for.
Wake County Sheriff Gerald Baker is ending a program in which deputies check daily on dozens of senior citizens. Participants in the Citizens Well Check program live alone and don't have anyone to check on them, so they received an automatic call every day from the sheriff's office at 3 p.m. And if no one answered, there'd be a follow-up call and then a call to a family member. And if still no contact, a deputy would be dispatched to check on that person. 84-year-old Robin Ingram got the call every day and told WRAL-TV she called Baker to complain.
His argument is that if you can't do it for everybody, don't do it at all, which to me seems a stupid argument.
Sheriff Baker said he was elected last fall because he promised to serve all of the county citizens, and the Citizens Well Check served only a small fraction of seniors. Rising seniors at a Moore County high school do not have their ACT test scores because their answer sheets were never submitted. More than 400 students at Pinecrest High School were notified Tuesday that they were affected. Now, school leaders say the missing scores are due to human error and appropriate personnel action has been taken. The school says it plans to administer the test again in the fall at no cost to students. Ivanka Trump was in Charlotte yesterday touring a number of facilities along with the Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross. Tony Rixby, NCN News.
We have some unsettled weather in the forecast over the next couple of days. A cold front will make its way through the area late Thursday into Friday, and that will bring some drier air in for the very end of the week. But mostly cloudy today. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible this afternoon and this evening. High temperatures climb into the mid to upper 80s. After some evening storms, we'll have partly cloudy skies overnight tonight with temperatures in the low 70s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, it's partly cloudy, 76 degrees, humidity 94%. That gives us a dew point of 74. Pressure 2988, wind southwest at 9, and visibility at 10 statute miles. It is 8:15. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news. For this Wednesday hump day, Moore County is raising your property taxes. County commissioners voted unanimously last night to adopt a $163 million budget that increases the property tax rate from 4.5 cents to 51 cents for each $100 valuation. The pilot reporting, given the property values have gone up as a result of a recent valuation, the increase for most taxpayers will be even more. Normally, after reevaluation, when values increase, the tax rate is adjusted downwards to what is called revenue neutral, which would generate the same amount of revenue as before, taking into account normal growth. That would put the property tax rate at 44.25 cents. Commissioners made no changes to County Manager Wayne Best's proposed budget, despite pleas from parents and educators. County Manager Wayne Best said the property tax increase is needed to cover the higher debt service on repaying $123 million in voter-approved bonds to finance 3 new elementary schools and a health education center at Sand Hills Community College. In other news this morning, and plus we'll have a whole lot more on this coming up at the bottom of the hour. A Union Pine school teacher behind bars for engaging in sex acts with a student. Julian Lee Reynolds, 41, of Pinehurst, arrested and charged with 1 count of felony indecent liberties with the student, 1 count of felony sex acts with the student. The victim was identified as a current student at Union Pines High School. Moore County School Police Department assisted in the arrest of the teacher. And the answer sheets for the ACT tests administered to all Pinecrest High School juniors on February 20th and March 13th were not submitted to the ACT for scoring. Pinecrest Principal Stephanie Phillips announced this yesterday. As a result, juniors who took the ACT on these dates will do not have scores. School and district officials have conducted a thorough investigation and, quote, appropriate personnel action has been taken. Moore County Schools has notified the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction and is finalizing a plan to reset all affected juniors upon their return to school this fall at no cost to the student. The ACT is the standardized test for college admission in the U.S. The test is administered to the 11th grade students paid for by the state. Students also have the option to retake the test in a given year at their own expense. And Moore County Schools will cover the cost of the retest for rising seniors this fall. That will cost you an additional $30,000. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning. Stand by, though. Here comes your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, at 990 AM WEEB. It is 8:18.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. It was all baseball last night, at least in the majors. Less of it was played in the college ranks because of rain. The Yankees were 6-3 winners as Edward Encarnacion went deep for his first hit with New York. He helped the AL East leaders move 2.5 games ahead of Tampa Bay. Jesse Winker and Derek Dietrich hit homers off Justin Verlander in the first inning to jumpstart the Cincinnati Reds' 4-3 win against the AL West leading Houston Astros. Clayton Kershaw combined with 2 relievers on a 4-hitter as the LA Dodgers pounded the San Francisco Giants 9-zip.
At the end of the day, you got a job to do, and just trying to keep your team in it. And when you're on a team as good as we are, you really don't have to do a whole lot. You just try and keep your team in the game as best you can, and we end up winning a lot of the time.
The Milwaukee Brewers still paced the NL Central by a half game over the Chicago Cubs following a loss by both teams. Logan Allen was brilliant in his major league debut. He limited the Brewers to 3 hits over 7 scoreless innings. The Padres beat Milwaukee 4-1. The White Sox pulled out a 3-1 win over the Cubs on a tie-breaking 2-run homer by Elroy Jimenez in the 9th. Atlanta's lead in the NL East down to 2.5 games over Philadelphia after Jacob deGrom came within 2 outs of a complete game, and rookie Pete Alonso reached the bases 6 times in the Mets' 10-2 rout of the Braves. DeGrom struck out 10 and carried a 3-hit shutout into the 9th before Freddie Freeman and Josh Donaldson hit back-to-back homers to end his night. Alonso hit one of the Mets' 3 home runs and was 4 for 4 with 2 walks and 3 RBIs in New York's 2nd win in 6 games. The Louisville-Auburn game at the College World Series will resume today after being suspended after the 4th inning because of rain last night. The Cardinals led Auburn 4-1 when the TD Ameritrade Park grounds crew rolled the tarp over the field. The Vanderbilt-Mississippi game scheduled for Tuesday night, and regularly scheduled games between Texas Tech and Florida State today will follow. This is NCN Sports.
Being a Farm Bureau insurance agent means being local. It means insuring your child's first car and standing beside you after a storm. It's more than a business to us. It's a friendship. So call an agent who calls North Carolina home. Because when you need us, we're there. In every county, every day. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Medicaid expansion, school safety, a statewide bond package, the next state budget. North Carolina lawmakers are tackling these and other topics. You can follow all the action with Carolina Journal. How would these proposals affect you, your wallet, your family? Carolina Journal offers answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
The NBA draft is still a day away. Tomorrow, Zion Williamson expected to be the overall #1 first-round pick. In an exclusive interview this morning with ABC's Good Morning America, Zion Williamson sat down with Robin Roberts. A preview of that interview here.
Everyone is saying with the first pick, the New Orleans Pelicans are going to say your name. What goes through your mind when you think about that #1 pick?
It's crazy, honestly. It's showing that my hard work is paying off, but I just want to get drafted, period.
The New Orleans Pelicans have the first overall pick, the unlikely winners of the NBA draft lottery last month. And there are rumors that the Pelicans, who will get the Lakers' #4 overall pick once the trade sending Anthony Davis to LA is finalized, are interested in moving up to #2, where they could also draft Williamson's former Duke teammate, R.J. Barrett. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Hey, this is Steve Leader-Adams. You know, for many years, I've had arthritis in my right shoulder. I was at the point that surgery was the only option. Then I discovered pressure wave therapy, available at Wright Chiropractic in 7 Lakes. Pressure wave therapy is a machine that concentrates pulses of pressure waves into your joint at a rate of 2,000 pulses per minute. The treatment is non-invasive and there is no downtime. Pressure waves help your body restore blood flow to your damaged joints and can even remove bone spurs, and works on almost any joint in the body, including knees, hips, feet, and elbows. I've gone to only being able to raise my arms from 90 degrees to a full 360-degree motion. You can live pain-free, too, without going under a surgeon's knife. Give Dr. Sharon Wright a call at Wright Chiropractic in 7 Lakes. 910-673-2225. That's 910-673-2225.
It's 1948. The Pinehurst Resort is closed for the summer, and J. Ellis Fields, along with his children, opened Fields Plumbing and Heating. It's blazing hot, and you could hardly walk on the sandy streets. But Mr. Fields is a pioneer in the development of air conditioning, and Moore County residents take comfort. That's almost 70 years ago, and Fields Plumbing and Heating continues to offer fast and dependable air conditioning service to its customers. No job is too big or too small. Call Fields Plumbing and Heating at 910-949-3232.
Born in Napoli, Italy, Sal Doria, owner of Fratello's restaurant in Pinehurst, makes his hand-tossed pizza with the passion of a true Italian. Fresh ingredients, homemade mozzarella, and amore. Come in and experience the ambiance of European luxury, hearty cuisine, warm hospitality, and an outstanding wine and beer list. Military families, come in and 15% of your meal is on us. Every Friday and Saturday night from 6:30 to 9:30, Fratello's welcomes Carolina's favorite piano man, Clarence Levine. Feel like staying in tonight? Fratello's has got you covered with Grubhub and DoorDash, so you can simply call in your order and have it delivered to your doorstep. We're located at 9735 U.S. Highway 15501 in Pinehurst, just a few doors down from Hickory Tavern. Fratello's Restaurant, making you fall in love with food all over again.
Opioid addiction is a crisis in Moore and surrounding counties, but there is a local doctor, Francis Corrigan of Solace Health, helping patients in recovery.
At Solace Health, we have had a great deal of success with opioid addiction treatment using medications such as Suboxone on an outpatient basis. Treatment is low cost as we accept all insurance, including North Carolina Medicaid. The treatment occurs in a very pleasant and private outpatient office setting where patients are treated with compassion and dignity. If you or your loved one needs help with opioid addiction or other drug or alcohol problems, please call us to speak to one of our nurses about our treatment program. We also have extensive experience in transitioning patients from methadone programs to Suboxone outpatient treatment.
Solace Health is located at 285 Olmsted Boulevard in Pinehurst. Call 910-295-7246. All calls are confidential. 910-295-7246 or visit recovermore.com. MOORE.
Aaron Cooper of Cooper Ford in Carthage wants you to know that you can't buy a new Ford car, truck, or SUV for less anywhere else, guaranteed. If you're in the market for a new Ford, what are you waiting for? Cooper Ford is the only locally and family-owned Ford dealership in Moore County. So if you're tired of the cold corporate climate of other dealerships, trade up for a family-friendly hometown dealer. Right now, get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months on the all-new 2019 Ford F-150 or the 2019 Ford Mustang. With no games, no gimmicks, just upfront, honest pricing and certified service after the sale.
I'm Aaron Cooper, and I want to know you by name. Come in today and let Cooper Ford show you how car buying should be.
Come to Cooper Country today, just a few short minutes from the traffic circle off 15501 in Carthage, or on the web at cooperford.net. Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
If you have inflammation, you know how painful it can be. Just imagine how painful it is for your pet, even though they never complain. Anti-inflammatories work, but are even harder on your pet's organs than yours. Thankfully, there's an alternative that more and more people are using to treat pain, but often don't realize is great for pets too. I'm talking about CBD oil and treats from Flowland. Come into Flowland and let's discuss how CBD oil and treats can benefit a range of issues for your pet. Issues like arthritis, anxiety, appetite, digestion, seizures, mood, and more. You shouldn't be paying an arm and a leg for one of nature's most beneficial products. Flowland, your best and most affordable source for CBD products for humans and pets. On US 1 North in Aberdeen.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Well, the people of Moore County have spoken through their elected representatives, the Moore County Commissioners. The school board got exactly what they asked for. The commissioners voted unanimously to give it to them by approving the budget last night. Okay, I'm a huge believer in our system of government. I know the commissioners would never have voted for this budget increase if they hadn't heard from you, the citizen. So I can only conclude that most of you are okay with this increase. I'll do my best to be a good sport, even though I think they made a mistake in supporting the two boards on this decision. Fiscal responsibility and local government is apparently not a priority for the citizens in this county. Otherwise, we wouldn't be experiencing what we are experiencing. To the school board, I say, congratulations. Feel free to come back and get as much as you want. No need to worry about a thing. The sky is the limit. All you have to do is ask, and it shall be given. And to the county commissioners, all of you already know how I feel, and all of you apparently disagree. So you're in charge, and I know you're doing what most people in this county ask you to do. Approve that huge budget. So now the pathetic pilot can gloat. The school leadership can celebrate. The county commissioners can look forward to smooth sailing in the next election. John Barath, you should have been there last night. Been a good time if you'd asked for a raise. Hope everyone has a good day from the Zumwalt Zone.
Keep the umbrellas handy. We have rain in the forecast through Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies today, and that will help to keep temperatures down a little bit. We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. Highs will climb into the mid to upper 80s. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, temperatures in the low 70s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms possible Thursday, and some of those could be severe with some strong damaging winds. Highs will climb into the upper 80s to low 90s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Today's program is sponsored by Way Back Wednesday. I can't believe the trashy music kids listen to nowadays. What happened to good old wholesome songs like Push It and Me So Horny?
Do you know what today is? Today's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Hump Day. Hump Day, am I right, buddy? You know it, baby.
This is my favorite day of the year. Say what now?
Good morning, my neighbors! Morning. Morning.
Wake up!
First, I need bacon. More bacon!
I want bacon!
I knew I smelled bacon. The best way to start a fun-filled day.
Breakfast! Breakfast!
And a show. All right, showtime.
Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with retired Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Hey, morning, Moore County. Perfect day out there. Nice and warm and sticky. Got to get out there, roll around in the grass, pick up some of those sand fleas, no-see-ums, and sand burrs and fire ants. Let's do some exercise.
And grit your teeth through it. Don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link on your mobile device. YouTube will do the work. Put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. If you're on your mobile device just needing our audio stream, many streaming applications work with us, like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer. Just put WEEB in the search. And as always, it's available on our website in the upper right-hand corner of every page at talk973.com. The link, the icon that says on the air, listen live. Tap it once with your cursor and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills. Got a couple more steamy days to endure before we get to the a little relief starting on Friday. Temperature-wise, we're going to cook every day. That's not going away. But we'll get a little break on the dew points. But mostly cloudy today. Scattered thunderstorms, high of 88, and dew points in the low 70s. Tonight, more of the same, a low of 73. Tomorrow, more of the same, high of 92 with a heat index of 97. And then we get a break in the dew points. We'll be down in the 60s on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Friday and Saturday, or right on through next week, highs are going to be right around 90, 91. Currently around the Sandhills, winds are southwest at 9, visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure's 2988, dew point at a very toasty 74. Humidity 94%. It's partly cloudy and 76 currently here. Few scattered showers out there on the radar. And 76 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
Did you break out in a sweat, Steve?
Just walking to the door, I did. It is 8:32 past the hour, and of course, this being Wednesday, it's time for our extended Zumwalt Zone as we welcome into the studio John Zumwalt.
Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning, Steve and Jeff. Jeff lets me call him Jeff on the air. He makes me call him the Colonel when we're not on air. So
that's right.
A little bit nervous. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to start off by reading you some things, not verbatim, but tell you what was in the Chicago Tribune yesterday. Some things that happened yesterday in Chicago. Now, you're going to think you know why I'm reading this. Some of you are going to think, oh, he's going to talk about gun control as I read this. Some of you are going to think it's about violence. Well, you're wrong. I want you to see if you can figure it out as I read this how I'm going to tie this into Moore County schools. It'll be very obvious to you when I finish. Yesterday in Chicago, there was a white man in a Dodge Magnum killed by another white fellow, and he was shot in the head and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. That happened yesterday. They'd gotten in an argument in the parking lot of a retail store, and I don't even know why race was mentioned. As of right now, no one's in custody for that. Also yesterday, an off-duty sheriff's deputy shot and wounded a teenager who tried to steal a sports car. A couple of hours later, 3 people were shot and wounded on a bus on the south side. A little bit later, a gunman fired several shots at a northbound 75 bus, striking 2 teens and grazing another man, Chicago police said. I guess they make a differentiation between striking and grazing. I guess when you have that many shootings, he was just grazed. It's not really a shooting. An 18-year-old man, the same day, yesterday, was shot multiple times in his body and arm and critically wounded. An 18-year-old woman was hit in her armpit and was in fair to serious condition. A 59-year-old man was grazed, that's another graze, on the side of his body. A 21-year-old man was shot at 5:45 p.m. A 19-year-old man was shot at 1:20 p.m. A 30-year-old man was shot at 1:47 p.m. A 38-year-old woman was shot at 2:50 a.m. And that came after what they call a violent weekend, in which 28 people were shot. But remember, the ones I just mentioned were all yesterday. That was from the Chicago Tribune. But that wasn't really the biggest story they had. Wait till you hear what the bigger story was. I'll give you the headline. School says human error to blame for missing ACT scores. You know where that's from? Does that sound familiar to you? This was in Chicago. You can read about it in every newspaper and television station in America, and some overseas. Pinecrest High School spokesman Catherine Murphy, poor lady, I wouldn't have her job for anything, says the school learned the tests weren't submitted when the ACT officials said they hadn't received the answer sheets. These tests were taken in February and March. I wonder if they ever would have found out. Now, by the way, this is a pretty big story in and of itself. And there's got to be a lot of parents and students who are furious. Got to be a lot of students who are starting to stress all over again, getting up in the morning nervous and throwing up and realizing they're going to have to go through this whole thing again. Parents have spent lots of money to have their kids tutored. These are very extremely important tests, and the school's lost them. But the real story here is this is just one more announcement or thing that we have, in other cases, found out through our little investigations. But all in all, it's the inept leadership of the Moore County superintendent. These things just don't happen in an environment where you've got good leadership. I don't know how you lose these tests. If anyone's ever taken it or been involved in proctoring or knows anything about the way they do these things, you can't even, there exists a set of instructions, a booklet. It's everything from when you break the band on the test to give it to the students, exactly when they're allowed to open their tests, what you must do while proctoring the tests, how they have to be handed in. It's like almost like a murder weapon in a case. It must be accounted for every step of the way. You know what? I don't think you just forget. You forget to turn off the lights. You forget to put the lawnmower back in the garage. This is like forgetting, did you lock the tiger cage? What? No, you don't forget to mail in the ACT scores and you don't lose them. How can this happen? How? Did someone say, Jones, there are 440 tests here. Mail them for me, will you? And then Jones said, okay, I will. And then he just forgot. Or he put them in his trunk and decided later to throw them away. Maybe they'll forget. Or Jones hit the send button on this computer, and Jones forgot. I don't know how it works. But here's what I do know. No one's going to be held accountable to this, for this. And you know why? Because no one is ever held accountable for anything, not for cheating at football, not for having to explain how they keep hiring the same architect company, not for blowing money, not for anything. About the only thing you can get in trouble for anymore is a sexual misconduct with a student, and I think that's about it. And then, of course, you are, and you should be. Grimacy is the boss, and I keep coming down on Grimacy. He's the boss. All of these things are happening under his watch. They've already covered it up, and I've said from the very beginning, the crime is bad enough. These things I'm using quotation marks around the crime because we don't know for sure if all of them were crime. But I'll call it a crime for the purposes of this little report and say the cover-up. It's always the cover-up. They never want to admit anything, and they're already starting to cover it up. The same way they covered up the reason that they brought John Grimacy back and the way that we still don't know why he was fired. We're hoping very soon to be able to report more on that, and then maybe you'll understand why we've got such an inept school system and why he should have remained fired. But that's for another time. The school board, rather the school system, and I don't know who makes these decisions. I guess the board does. No, I don't really think they do. I think it's Barath and Grimacy. They run things over there, and the school board merely stamps rubber stamps them. But they've already told us this is a personnel matter. It's already been taken care of, and that's it. We'll never know. We'll never know who did it, how they did it. And you know what? If it turns out to be some poor schmuck who somehow or another made a mistake, I'll be amazed. But if it does, I can't help but feel a little bit sorry for that guy or that gal. But when all's said and done, there are a lot more than 440 people who are hurt here. That's times that by students and teachers and parents and grandparents and money, and we've got a problem here.
When are they going to have to take that test? During the summer sometime, so potentially travel plans are changed and all kinds of things. That's wrong.
Well, I think really the news article said they were going to do it at the beginning of the year, but still, like John pointed out, colleges are waiting on this information.
Yeah.
So for early admission and things like that, and the $30,000, they go, well, the school will pay for it. It's just $30,000. I mean, what choice they got but to pay for it? But, they just throw the money away like,
yeah,
just $30,000.
No big deal. We'll go back.
Yeah. We'll roll that into the next request at the commissioners' meetings.
Yeah, which will probably be next month, the way they normally do.
Oh, it'll be soon. It'll be soon.
I thought they had a lot of nerve when they put on their announcement that the kids will have to retake these tests, but we're not going to charge them for it. Oh, well, you know what? Even more county voters wouldn't put up with you charging them for a test that you lost. And we're supposed to trust you with their grades. Okay.
I'd like to know what happened. You don't have to identify anybody, but I'd like to know
what was
how
the process?
those scores did not get there.
What was the process? What was the mistake?
Yeah.
That should be common, public information. That's not a big deal.
But they're not doing it. So.
Maybe the envelope fell behind the file cabinet or something. Stuff happens, but it's just, hey, let's find out what it was so we don't do it again.
Well, you may remember just a few months ago when they had some type of error in one of their programs, and they told us that the test scores were wrong. Do you guys remember that at all?
No, actually, I don't.
It's easy to document. But I'm sorry, folks, but it's just, you cannot, as they say, make this stuff up. You just can't, and it's just one thing after another, and we keep giving them money. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that meeting last night. I heard, I was there for part of it. I left, and I went to the watch party for Trump to make his announcement, and I hated to leave, but I was very glad I went to that. To me, it's a momentous moment in this nation. And
were people quiet at it so you could hear it?
Yeah, they were quiet when he started talking, but it was very, very packed, and we had a really good turnout. And I pray he gets reelected because he is one of the few men with spine in this nation that's actually.
Yeah, he's got one. Yes, he does.
Yeah, And he's
got a thick hide and a spine. Yes, he does.
And can you imagine? But I think we need leadership in our county. I think we need leadership on the school board, and I think we need leadership on that board of commissioners. Real leadership. But Jeff, I heard you talking about you were there. Someone called me this morning and said that after Chairman Quiz made his little remarks, he gave that little laugh, like,
yeah.
Did you?
I heard it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
somebody else
that
heard
really
that and commented. Yes.
That really stuck with Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did somebody else commented on that to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just, yeah. That's just terrible. Terrible.
You know, the thing that really galls me about this whole thing, and I want everybody to know this. Anytime you go speak to a school board, county commissioners, city board, village, county, you're wasting your time. They have made their mind up way before you ever got in there.
Yeah.
And anything you say is for the record.
And that was clear last night. Yeah, that's what he said. You can skip to the end. Hey, we got to have a budget by the end of June, and we have to have a public hearing. So this is it. All in favor, say aye. Boom, and it was done. You could have skipped to the end.
You know, I'm going to give some credit here. The commissioners they were in a tight spot, but that's I'm not giving them an out on that count. But I would like to say to them, something's going to have to be done. Something is going to have to be done. We are building a school in a pesticide, very near a pesticide dump site, one that we don't know if it's safe or not. I looked up last night, just for the heck of it, I Googled schools getting sued and some of the things they get sued for. The first 50 things, little exaggeration, that came up were how to sue a school. There was one site called 10 Steps to Take to Sue Your School. People are sue happy. Rightly or wrongly, they're sue happy. And lest you think that you can build a school on top of a Superfund, EPA Superfund, contaminated website, contaminated with pesticides that were dumped there in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And if you're foolish enough to believe that we know every site where they're contaminated, we are looking at lawsuits, a lot of lawsuits in the future. One man last night spoke and said that we're harming our future generations and their generations. It's well known that these types of things, when they get in children, they'll skip a generation. I just don't understand how anybody, and you liberals out there make me sick. Where are you in this? How come we haven't heard from you? Could it be because the conservatives have brought this up? Let me tell you something. I would have jumped up on this in a heartbeat, whether or not a conservative, a liberal, or an alien from another planet brought this up. These are children, and they have a right to be protected. Let me tell you what. I've got to tell you what one lawsuit, what happened. A guy in, I forget what school district he was in, but anyway, he went on a trip to China. And something bit him, and he sued. And he got $41.5 million. Now, that's a kid that got bit by a tick in China. And the Connecticut Supreme Court
on a school trip.
Yeah. And they awarded him $41.5 million. How do you think a jury's going to feel when a precious child, and God, I hate to even say this, but contracts some awful, evil, demon disease, and the parents find out and they know about the fun side? How long do you think there will be attorneys lined up around the block, around the state, wanting to take this case? I haven't even, you could hire a guy who's never even finished high school to represent this case and get millions. What's my point? We are going to have children who get sick, and it will have nothing to do with this site. But we're also going to have children who are going to get sick that it might have something to do with this site. And that's the word, might, maybe. We can't be sure. It could be. Phrases like that. I want to hear someone say to me, We are positive. We know without a shadow of a doubt, we are absolutely 100% positive that this school ground is safe. There's no danger. And that's why we're building it here for the poor people of Aberdeen. Unlike the other one where we paid $70-something thousand an acre for the kids who are a little more well off. This whole thing stinks. And we've just got to, I feel like we're just forgetting these people.
Yeah, groundwater, it moves, and that's why you have to sit there and take the common sense route and say, look, this is too close, let's do it somewhere else. But we're in the middle of the construction, so it's up. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, and we had a very good article that came out. It's been posted everywhere on Facebook. But still, people have not seen it. There are still a lot of people who don't know about this. I'd ask you, if you're concerned about it, talk about it with everyone everyone you meet, everyone you see. Mention it. Just ask them to read about it. All we want them to do is read the facts. Now, I'm going to say this again. I'm not going to give anybody credit for it. The only arguments that we get on our facts, the only arguments we get are how stupid we are, how much we hate children, and the old racial slur cockroach comes up. And that's from our newspaper. The other folks who write, who are a little more ignorant, write even worse things. So I just want to hear them answer our facts. Just answer our facts. That's what we're looking for.
Well, they can't answer the facts, and they won't. That's all they have.
They're too busy getting their facts from the pathetic, racist, failing pilot.
Well, that's the pilot prints them. All right. I want to do something. I walked in here this morning, and we had a letter written. And it's very, very well written. It's typed. It just seems to be written by someone who's pretty smart and can speak well. And I can't read the whole thing because it would take too long, but I would like to read just a few things from it. It's written by someone who works for the school system. And part of it says this. First, I'd like to say that I understand many, if not all, have a dislike for Superintendent Grimacy and John Barath. I can say for myself and many others at the schools that we don't like them either, but we have to work for them. However, I refuse to be a puppet in their puppet show regarding the budget as many teachers and students have done in the past. I know for a fact that Mr. Grimacy's called principals at schools to persuade teachers and students to come to meetings and sign up to speak just to beg for more money from you so as not to lose something at their school or some teacher they like. All right, now let me quit reading for a minute and say this. Grimacy, if you want to call this man a liar or this woman a liar, and I'm honestly not sure from the way it was written, if it was written by a male or a female. But if you want to call him a liar, come on here, and I'll bring on some folks that will say it in person, and we'll see who's lying about what. Okay, skip down a little bit in the letter, and it says, I ask why we would be penalized for the wasteful and uncaring ways of the superintendent and his puppets. Please be aware that they themselves received a raise last year and will receive a step increase this year, while we low-wage workers receive nothing. Remember, my tax rate and property values increased just like theirs did, but I have to pay it out of the same money I make without the benefit of a raise. I'm asking you to help us workers get some relief. And if the Board of Education refuses to cooperate in using this extra money for that purpose, then I say don't give it to them. Let me skip down a little bit further. He says they'll waste it, or she says they'll waste it as always. Please keep them in your sights, because there are things that just might pop up that they will say need emergency money when they've known for months these problems existed and refused to spend capital monies to fix it. Grimacy and Barath, this person says, need to go ASAP. Thanks for allowing me to vent some of my frustrations. Again, please consider the classified employees before voting on the new budget. Well, it's too late. They've already voted on it. They didn't listen to you, but they didn't listen to me either. They had their minds made up before the vote ever occurred. They all have their reasons, and I just am almost speechless.
Well, he states a classic ruse that school administrations use in variety of places. They'll let a school or let some facility basically rot, until things are falling off on the kids' heads as they're walking down the hallway and say, "Oh, we need a new school. We need a new school." And I think I mentioned it to you the other day. I had to go up to Jersey. I'm from Jersey, so I went up there, and my school, my elementary school, Dutch Neck School, was built in 1931. My mother went to that school, and the same original building is still there and still used as classrooms, etc. I was over in Plainsboro, the same model school. There's a real blinding flash of the obvious. They built the same schools throughout the township there, and the same one there, and they added on, and certainly the population grew, and they put additions on. But that same facade there that was built in 1932, both of them are still there. They're identical, and they still have classes in them. Go figure that out. But we can't manage that here for some reason. We have to just let the roof fall in, and we need a $9 million school, and let's bulldoze it and build a $39 million school
on the same site.
Yeah.
10 years later, 9 years later, whatever it was, from $9 million to $39 million.
Yes.
Yeah. And that doesn't even count outfitting it. Fitting it.
One of the ladies last night spoke to that, saying, "Hey, my kid goes to," I think she said West End Elementary, and she maintained the furniture that her kids are using is perfectly fine, et cetera. Why are we buying all this new stuff? Just move the, et cetera. But common sense doesn't apply. So
well, if they would have built the same school for every school instead of having to redesign it. If they wouldn't have wasted millions trying to build a monument to themselves or to SFLA, so SFLA could make more millions.
Yes.
When you see these schools, you're going to walk in and say, "Oh, isn't this beautiful?" And it is. But you know what? It's a school, and it should have functioning, good, safe, functioning classrooms.
Right.
And it should. We don't need marble imported from Italy and things like that, which I doubt if they have. But I'm using that for an example.
You're not living there.
We don't need monuments built for the architect.
Right. No, we do not. And
you're not living in it 24 hours a day. It's a 4 to 6 hours that it's occupied.
And use the same design. Why should we pay millions for a new design every single time? How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
I want to grab the last 2 minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay, grab it.
To tell people. Town of Southern Pines, Reagan Parsons, the manager there, put out a memo yesterday telling about a 5,300 gallon spill of sewage, and said it was off Commerce Avenue on a dirt road. Well, he lied about that. It was in the middle of the dog park, and I want to warn those people that go out to the dog park that down there at the bottom of the hill next to the creek that all the dogs drink from and walk in and everything else. All that sewage was spilled in there. That's where it went. And you're going to see this white stuff all over the ground, and your dogs will walk through it, and it'll get caked on their feet, as it did yesterday. And of course, the town didn't put a notice on the bulletin board there to warn people about this. They just let you walk through raw sewage. And that sewage has now gone into CCNC's lake. So you folks over there, don't be going swimming in that lake. Don't let your dog swim in it. It's contaminated.
You wash your dog if you walked around over there yesterday.
Yeah, and hopefully your dog doesn't get sick because you had no knowledge of it because the town manager didn't bother to put up a notice or give a factual press release telling about where it was. He hid it from you.
And for the school board, maybe you can get some elementary kids over there to clean up that stuff so the dogs don't have to walk around in it.
Yeah. Well, it's just a pathetic example of the type of management around here that we have. Parsons should go for something this blatantly.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah, to sit there and let me walk through the sewage. Let anybody out there walk through that sewage and they're wondering, what the heck is this?
A public place that is well used.
Yeah.
And you knew it was there. That's not right.
And you spread lime on the ground and say, oh, it's all fixed now.
No.
And don't forget, it's dogs. And people love dogs more than they love their children.
I do.
Yes, you're right.
Not more than they love their children.
I don't mean to ignore the dogs, but it's a public place.
Yeah,
it's
the
well
babies
used.
go out there and everything else. Kids play in the damn stream that the sewage was just in. Thanks a lot, Reagan Parsons, for the notice that you didn't give. So it goes for this Wednesday and this weekend. Met Cup of softball. Have yourself a great, safe weekend. Third Wednesday. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow for a Thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the Dog will all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Where? At the Sewage Field Dog Park.